Hello. Hello, good morning, good evening, and good day, depend on the part of the world where you're watching at. Right. So we're gonna start any moment from now. So before we start, we need to know where you're watching from. Kindly let me know. Just let me know where you're watching from, right? Just let me know where you're watching from, right? So just let me know where you're watching from, right? So just let me know where you're watching from. So let me know where you're watching from. So you can just, yeah, I can see K-Boy watching from Lagos, Nigeria. And I can see some couple of guys trying to join. So we're going to start any moment from now. So you're welcome, K-Boy. And before we start, we introduce myself just for you to get to know me. Right. Right. So my name is Zechariah Akinpelo. So you can call me Zek or you call me Leke. So I have over uh, 15 years of experience in cybersecurity. Before I delve into cybersecurity, I started my career as a software engineer. I did that for about 4 to 5 years before I decided to venture to cybersecurity. And what led me to cybersecurity was as a result of what I've seen, the deficiency I've seen in the technology, also in the software. So that was the point of time I developed a software for a school. It was like an educational portal. I noticed some unusual behavior on that software. So that's why I started thinking about cybersecurity. So I did that for the first 4 years. While doing software development, I was also looking for a way to ensure that my software is not being hacked because the software is being used by the institution. And also, I developed a couple of software that quite a number of institutions were using back then, like a kind of educational management system. From the software, you can log in to a portal, apply for admission, do your course registration, and also do pay for your courses and all of that, right? And the software is integrated to banking application, so you can make the payment right away from the software, right? So I discovered some anomaly that some guys are trying to bypass the control. So from then I started thinking about cybersecurity. So I started thinking about quality assurance and how to make my software better. So later on, I decided to kickstart my cybersecurity career by joining a bank, but I did not join as a software engineer. I joined as more like a kind of a data engineer. So later, I find myself working with the administrators to ensure that they secure the databases. I find myself working with various technology guys. So I started as a cybersecurity engineer. I've been doing that for the past 15 years. So in my early careers, I've had opportunity to engage in different bug bounty competition, ethical hacking competition, and I've also had the privileges to have some of the accolade. Like at the point in time, I was named the Certified Ethical Hacker of the Year by EC Council, and that was the first time I have to travel down to the United States to receive my award. At the point in time, I've also discovered vulnerability in different platforms, in various OEM, which I will not disclose, and I've also let them know how they can improve on the cybersecurity. I've had the opportunity to work in a couple of organizations, ranging from small, medium, and large organizations. I've also worked in one of the largest financial organizations. So I've worn so many hats. My earlier career started as application security engineer. At the point in time, I was a governance person. At the point in time, I was an IT auditor. And about for the past 12 years, I've been focused on the core cybersecurity, and also happen to go round the rank to be one of the security leader in the industry. And I've also gotten a lot of accolade, leadership accolades when it comes to cybersecurity. Last year, I was named the top 10 global cybersecurity professional in New Jersey, and also at the point in time, I was named the best CISO in West Africa. So just to mention but a few. So that's me. So let's keep it rolling. So thank you for coming. Augustus, I can see you. Augustus, you're welcome from Lagos. I can see Ephraim from Ibadan. I can see Odofin Ayodeji from Lagos. I can see quite a number of people. I can see Mika White, right? So let's keep coming. Let's keep. So just let me know where you're coming. So this is our first webinar series for this year. So we'll be having series of days, and so just bear with us. The next one will be much more well organized and much more well publicized, right? So yeah, so let's start the course. So my name is Zechariah Kimpel again. So I'm reachable. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and so today we're going to discuss about how to kickstart your career in cybersecurity. So I don't know where your journey is. So if you've started as a cybersecurity professionals and you feel stuck, or you are just starting, or you are just thinking, what do you do to kickstart your cybersecurity? So this webinar is actually for you, right? So we are going to discuss about the first thing that we look at, understand what cybersecurity really is. So what the heck about cybersecurity? So I know that so many people, we've been heard a lot of stuff about cybersecurity. What the heck? And so many publications, so many webinars, everybody, so many people are talking about that, right? So we're going to discuss about the fundamentals, because before you delve into any career, you need to understand the fundamental. So you need to understand the rudiments. So we're going to talk about where do you get started? How do you start from the rudiments? So we're going to talk about how to pick a pathway. Cybersecurity is very broad. I've told you that I've worn so many hats. I've worn a defensive hat. I've worn an offensive security hat. I've also had the opportunity to set standard for different body of knowledge. And so I won even an academia hat, and also wearing a researcher hat. So currently I consult for a couple of organizations, fintech, and also some institutions. I'm also an adjunct faculty, one of the leading institution actually in Canada. So I'm one of the Willis College is the oldest college in Canada, and I'm one of the course content developers. So before getting there, so I will also brush us through the different career pathway. Then how do you get hands-on? What are the things that you need to learn? What are the basic stuff that you need to understand? Just like any other profession, you need to understand the nitty-gritty of the career, right? Of the art. So we're going to talk about some security tools like Nmap, Burp, Wireshark, Metasploit. We're going to talk about how do you stay connected and stay current. And also, we're going to talk about how to work towards certification. Certification is optional. So I know so many people get confused that because they don't have the required certification, because they don't have the college degree, they find it difficult. So certification is not an option. It does not really matter wherever which background. No one thing about technology, anybody can leverage on it. You can leverage on technology, and if you want to be an expert in it, it's all depend on you. Your background doesn't really matter. What really matters is your interest and your enthusiasm, right? No, you need to be very interested because learning, you need to be interested in the arts, in the course, and also in the field. And you also need to have passion for passion for education, right? Passion for continuous education and continuous learning. How do you start applying your knowledge? So that I'm going to also wrap it up with quick starter kit. What are the things that you can take off? So there will be so many things that you can take off at the end of the webinar. So for those of us just getting started, and also for those of us that are thinking about employee to stay to the end of the webinar. So it's good. It's completely free, and also it's very loaded, right? So yeah. So let's start from the fundamentals. So what is cybersecurity? What's the heck about cybersecurity? Everybody is talking about cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is a subset of technology career. It's an aspect of a technology, and it deals with the protection of systems, network, and data from digital attacks. As you're all aware, virtually everything that you do today, you need to you need to think about automation. You need to think about how to leverage on technology. Today, we are able to have uh, this session, yeah, and we're able to reach out to me from different parts of the world, right? Yeah, we leverage it on technology for communication, and the schools of nowadays to leverage on technology. Today, you can learn how to PhD level without you traveling, and you can have the best of that of the education at the comfort of your home. So that's work of technology. And today, so many of us, you can do transactions. You can send money to friend, family in different parts of the world at the comforts of your home, even using your mobile. You don't need to queue up in the banking hall like we used to do in those days, And so we leverage the banking of nowadays, leverage on technology and the communication, everything centered around technology. As we leverage on technology to make our life much more better, so the bad guys to leverage on technology to enrich themselves. So the aspect of technology that deals with the protection of systems, the protection of technology is what we call cybersecurity. It has to do with the protecting system, network, and data from digital attacks. So the digital attackers can be anybody, can be hackers, can be activists, can be a direct actor from different paths. So we're going to talk about some key areas of cybersecurity. We're going to talk about network security. We're going to talk about application security, cloud security, governance, risk, and compliance, which is called GRC. We're going to also talk about security operation, which is called the SOC. We're going to talk about the penetration testing for people that want to major into the offensive side. Offensive side are the people that think like the bad guys to protect the system. They have the same technical knowledge. Also, they also understand the various tools that the various bad guys use. They also leverage those tools to test their organization to ensure that their organization is well secured. So those guys We call them penetration tester. We call them ethical hacker. So we call them, yeah. So, and there's some people, if you want to, if you like inquisitive, if you are very inquisitive and also like to question stuff, yeah, there's some aspects of cybersecurity that deal with digital forensics. Digital forensic auditors are people that conduct an investigation of what really matters, of what really happens whenever there is a cyber breaches, whenever there is a cyber attack. And we also have the identity and access management, people that focus on how to ensure that the access given to system is limited and is restricted. So these are the different key areas. So the network security engineers are the people that secure the network, people that make sure that the network is not being hacked, especially the infrastructures like servers, your network. Application security are people that ensure that your application is not being hacked. They ensure that applications there are different control put in place, and people, some people delve into cloud security and also have the GRC. The GRCs, people that focus more on the governance side of cybersecurity, people that do more of auditing, people that do more of risks management and compliance rights. So let's look at it. What is the main goal of cybersecurity? The main goal of cybersecurity to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. That's we call it the CIA triad. The confidentiality means that you want to make sure that your data is only the known. You want to make sure that it's only authorized people that can access the data, that can access the system. For example, if you have a bank account, at any point in time, your bank account is your private information. You don't want a situation whereby your neighbor, maybe your neighbor, to know about your bank account, about your balances. So if your neighbor get to know about your balances or somebody that do, so that means that the confidentiality of your bank information has been compromised. Also, for people in North America that have a social security number, you don't want, because with the social security number you can use that to open a bank account. They can also use that to do a credit search on you. You can also use that to apply for credit. You want to keep that information so personal and keep it to yourself so that people, the bad guys, will not leverage on it to conduct some atrocity or some offense called identity theft on you. Also, for some of us that use card, ATM card, or debit card or credit card, you don't want to know with your credit card you can do transaction with that. There's what we call the non-present transaction. You can do transactions if your card got to the wrong hand or the card information, like your PAN, your CVV2, or your PIN get to the wrong hand. Somebody can access your account on your behalf, right? So that means that the confidentiality of your card has been compromised. So the main goal of cybersecurity is to ensure the confidentiality, to ensure that to ensure that you only have authorized access, only people with to ensure unauthorized, to keep your information asset from being authorized by a malicious person or malicious individuals or entity. Integrity has to do with the how to ensure the unauthorized this unauthorized maybe unauthorized manipulation, unauthorized, for example, if you want to maintain the integrity of your bank account, let's presume that you have like $1 million on your account. You want to ensure that the $1 million is intact. You don't want a situation whereby you want to conduct a transaction and you realize that the balance has reduced, right? So that the integrity of your data has been compromised. So the integrity is to ensure unauthorized manipulation on your digital asset or of your information asset. Availability is to ensure that your digital assets are always available and always accessible. For example, if you are in the middle of, let's presume that, okay, you are at the shopping mall and at the point in time you want to pay for the goods as for the goods or the product that you buy. At the point in time, you want to ensure that your banks are always available. You don't want to situation whereby you want to do a transaction, you can access your mobile banking, you can access your online banking. So availability is to ensure that your information assets are always available and always accessible. So one of the tactics of the very bad guys, if they can't disrupt the confidentiality, if they can't destroy the integrity, they can also cause disruption of the information asset. They can cause different kind of disruption like a denial of service. So we're going to talk about that later. So let's start with the principle, some very, very principle. So for you to get started in cybersecurity, you need to understand some basics. And these basics, you don't need I will also refer you to some resources, free resources where you can get those basic, and also at the end of the day, also refer you to where you can get started. The books, also online resources that you can leverage on. Though I will also be mentioning that as I proceed. First and foremost, before the technical fundamental, first and foremost is the desire. Do you really want to venture to cybersecurity? Are you venturing into it because your colleagues or your friends are really getting to that? So first and foremost is the end. You must be enthusiastic about the cybersecurity, right? You must be really interested, not just because you are being motivated by some set of people, right? Maybe you see your friend they are doing very well, right? So that's I didn't put that at on my slide, right? So that is very key, right? So you need to be sure that you are really, really interested in it, right? So because that interest that will keep you focused, that will keep you learning, right? So because cybersecurity is not just like any other technology career, so you need to keep evolve over time. You need to keep learning. As I am today, I still keep learning, and I will keep learning until when I feel like, okay, but I'm not sure because of the passion. I think yeah. So the some of the basic that you need to understand. Let's start with the network basic. You need to understand some basic. You don't need to be a network expert. You don't need to be an operating system guru. You don't need to be a software engineer expert. But if you have some of this basic knowledge, it will help you a lot. But if you don't have such, you can easily pick up this basic. Some of us do not study computer science at the first degree. Like, for example, I study physics. My first degree is in physics, and I'm not just electronic physics. I study theoretical physics. I do more of mathematics and all of that, right, in school, right? Yeah. So before I finished from school, I just got interest. Maybe I think from my when I was in 20 level, and I picked up courses on programming, and I was able to navigate around that, and to the extent that I could challenge people that study computer science, right? So you don't need to be a computer scientist for you to understand the basics, and so even when it was later on after uh, ha- getting my foot ready on the course on the career that I decided to do a master degree in cybersecurity. I did my master degree at the later end of my career. I even did my MBA before I even did my master in cybersecurity. Though I have did some couple of certification, but you don't also need to. One of the issue that we always have, people think that until when they get satisfied before they can actually kickstart, you don't need to get the certification. What you need to know, you need to understand the fundamental. Like in my own case, when I started as a cybersecurity professional, my first job, I didn't have any cybersecurity certification. Even though I have some certification in IT, maybe Oracle. Then at that point in time, I was Oracle. I have OCA, OCP. I think those are the major certification I have in IT, and also just my knowledge of basic knowledge of programming. So I did my certification almost after 1 year when I started my first job in cybersecurity, right? So, but if I knew it, because of the passion to learn, I ended up having more than 30 certifications. Today, I don't like to write a certification, but one way or the other, I might still see need to write one or two, or they might call me to come and help people to formulate maybe curriculum on a particular certifications. But definitely, I'll be forced to write that kind of certification. So just to prepare your mind that you don't need to study computer science, you don't need to study engineering, but you need to understand the very basics. You can't shy away from that basic. You need to understand the basic of TCP, IP. What is TCP? Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. You need to understand the basics of firewalling, VPN, virtual private network, proxies. You need to understand the basics of operating system, Windows and Linux command line skills. So yes, I know most of us are very used to Windows because by default, almost everybody uses Windows operating system. Not just that, you need to understand the fundamental operating system. What's the fundamental of that? Not just you messing around the system alone, and also you also need to have hone your skill in Linux command. And also, you also need to understand some common threats like malware, phishing, ransomware, and you also need to understand those common threats. And maybe at this in this platform, and maybe in the last couple of weeks, I've decided that I'll be releasing some nuggets on the non-technical side of cybersecurity, actually on social engineering. So you can watch out on this channel. So you can just subscribe so that you can get notification whenever we upload stuff, right? Whenever we upload new maybe nuggets, so that you can get familiar with the common threat. You need to understand the basic security controls like encryptions, authentication, least privileges, principle, and then some of the resources that can keep you get going. I heavily recommend CompTIA Security Plus. This is a great entry level certification. It doesn't really matter whether you study computer science. Anybody can pick up a CompTIA Security Plus, and you can pick up the materials and read up, not necessarily writing the certification for you to understand the concept. You can also pick up if you're interested in network security, even if you are not. For everybody, I recommend Cisco networking basics, Cisco CCNA. You can do that. I also recommend all these courses can also be accessible for free. There are quite a number of courses on Cybersecurity, on Coursera, Track Acme, or Hagibus for people that want to get their hands very dirty, right? On Cybersecurity, Coursera, there are different courses from non-technical courses to very technical courses. But Track Acme and Hagibus are people that want to focus on the offensive side of cybersecurity. So there are a lot of labs that you can practice with so that you can get your hands dirty, right? Yeah, so let's look at the different career pathway. Cybersecurity is very huge. Just it's very huge, and you can't be you can't know it all, right? But you can master some domain. So I will just summarize that into like 4 different domains. We have the offensive security. What is offensive security? Offensive security are people that think like the bad guys. They understand the various techniques, the tactics and principles that the bad guys use to hack into the system. And they also use that techniques to defend their organization. So immediately I jump into cybersecurity, I jump into the offensive security side of it, and I started doing ethical hacking. And I started doing, I think I did the course on certified ethical hacking, and I did some courses before I did even that. Before I even do the certification, I've been practicing for more than 3 years as a ethical hacker before I decided to just write the certification so that to fulfill all righteousness and also to also let people know that at least I can read and pass the certification right. So you can learn all these skills without writing any certification. If you want to focus on offensive security side, you can subscribe to Try Hack Me, Hack the Boss, or there are a lot of resources. And also on this channel, I think the last 2 years, I uploaded a complete courses on national penetration testing, from the introduction to penetration testing to also if you want to go into deep dive. I think I also uploaded a course on how to use Python. I think there's a course, Python for penetration tester, that I uploaded. I think the course was about, I think about 40-hour courses. Then the introduction to penetration test. I think the course was about 60 hours. All the video, the different, but I broke it down into different. So you can pick up that just subscribe to the to the channels, or you can pick up from the playlist. You see that, right? And also beyond that, there are a lot of resources like Try Hack Me. Lot of we also mentioned some of those resources, Hack the Boss, that you can also leverage on, right? So the offensive security are for people that want to be on the offensive side, that want, if you want to major on penetration testing, ethical hacking, and the red teaming operation is also an aspect of offensive security. But for you to be a red teaming operator, you must have the very basic of you must understand ethical hacking very well and penetration testing very well. So it's about breaches, simulation, how to ensure that the test, the control that have been put in place, you want to keep on testing the control of your organization to ensure that on bad guys will not be able to leverage on the vulnerabilities to exploit your organization, right? So the second part is defensive security. The defensive security are people that ensure that the system are not attacked. They continually monitor the system. They also put in different countermeasures in place. And so example of defensive security career is SOC analysts. SOC analysts are people that monitors the organization 24/7. They monitor the security alerts. They have different dashboard. They look at, they have different tooling that they use, like SIM, and they look at that. Then the blue teaming, the SOC analysts work closely with some of them can also are like a blue teaming. So blue teaming and the red teaming operator work hand in hand. So blue teaming are the people that built in the control and also the monitors, where the red teaming guys conduct an attack. Is more or less I use simulating an attack, and also see whether the whenever the red teaming guys are simulating the attack, the blue teaming guys will be defending it. So most of the time, red teaming guys can carry out an activities without notifying the blue teaming guys. At times they coordinate an activity to see whether they are aware. It's more or less like you can be compared to a militant group, or maybe you're in the army, or you are in the military system, and you are simulating a war, and you want to see how good your different ammunition, whether those ammunition are well sophisticated, that the control that you put in place, you want to test whether your bunker is actually really working and all of that. So something like that, right? So we also have the engineering and architecture. So these are the people that do the architectural work, that do the engineering work, the firewall engineer, the applications security engineer, people that the cloud security engineer. And so for you to really be in this field, the engineering and architectural speed, you need to understand the very basic. For example, for you to be an application security engineer, you must understand the very basic principle of software engineering. I would also recommend you start the course with software engineering, right? For you to be a class security architect, you need to understand the very basic of cloud, how to configure the cloud, how to configure stuff, right? So because it's only good for you to understand the system you want to defend before you can defend that kind of a system. Then you have the GRC and compliance. So these people, they do the governance side of it. They do the policies, management, the audit, the risk management, the compliance. We call them the GRC personnel, governance, risk, and compliance. Yeah, there's different school of thought that feel that okay, for you to be a GRC person, you don't really need to have the very technical background. But I will recommend that it's always good for you to understand the very basic. So what are the basic? I think I highlighted the basics before you can play into any of this field easily. So I'm telling you from experience, and it also give you a hedge over people that don't understand the very basics. Yeah, because if you don't understand the very basic, that's a very bad foundation. So I always encourage you to understand the very basics. So at different part of my career, I've worn so many hats. At the point in time, I started as an offensive security engineer. At the point in time, I was doing more of defensive security. And at the point in my career, later part of my career, I was doing more of architecture, engineering. I also wear compliance, GS and compliance arts at the earlier part of my career. And now that I'm a CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, I put on all this hat. I also have this knowledge, all right? So depending on what you want, you can on this part that you can determine. So how do you get started? How can you get your hands dirty? Get hand on. So it's very important that because for you to be able to defend a system, you must understand the system that you want to defend. Just think of it this way. You want to be maybe a security personnel. I'm talking about physical security personnel. You want to be a colonel. Maybe you want to be a general. At the point in time, you want to grow up to be an army general. And you don't want to go through the rudiment, right? So you need to understand the rudiments. So how do you understand the rudiments? Security is so easy today, and the technology is so easy today that anybody can pick up the technology. You can set up a technological lab right at from the machine. Like the machine I'm using now today, I have I can't even more than 20 labs, and I'm still counting, right? And for every class that I do, especially the hands-on class, I build up a lab for those classes, right? So how do you build a home lab? You need to have a virtual machine, and you also need to understand how to configure that. So I will show you. I will just show you some of the labs that we build, and also if you want to, for example, you want to be a network engineer, you need to build lab. So lab will be like a kind of a test environment that you'll be using to test run, maybe on whether you are familiar with what you're learning and or not, right? So you need to have a simulated lab for firewall. Even if you want to be a GRC person, you also need to have at least get familiar with the different terminology, right? So then you also, if you want to be an offensive security person, you need to have some vulnerable app that you can use for practice. Vulnerable app like DVWA. DVWA means damn vulnerable web application. So, and if you want to be on offensive security, please don't carry out any test on any system that you are not authorized to. So, if you conduct a test on any public system, that makes you a bad guy. So you'll be arrested. So please, I need to should to let us know this, right? So don't, as a cybersecurity professional, you need to be very ethical about what you do, and also if you are not authorized to conduct an assessment on any system, please and please don't do that. So for people that want to be an offensive or some defensive, you can. That is what we call capture the flag. There are different lab for capture the flag, like hack the boss, try hack me. You can use platform like try hack me. So yeah, just go to Google, type try hack me, subscribe, or hack the boss. And you can also leverage on the open source or volunteer with non-profits needing cybersecurity help. So let's presume that okay, you find it difficult to start and maybe to get a company that will hire you. You can volunteer for non-for-profits organization, and also maybe there's some organization that actually need cybersecurity help, and they don't have the budget to employ a cybersecurity professional, or you can also join a professional body. So which I'm going to mention very shortly. So I'm going to talk about uh, some of the tooling that you need to get that you need to get used to it. So how do you get hands-on? You can start your lab by downloading a Kali Linux. So Kali Linux is uh, is a specialized operating system being used by cybersecurity professionals. It has multiple tools for monitoring system, tools to discover vulnerabilities, tools for forensic investigation, and all of that. You can download that, and for you to download it, you go to the. Let me see if I can share my entire screen. Right. So let me see if I can share my entire screen for you to get started with the. Let me stop this. Right. Let me share the entire my entire Windows. I think this should be better, right? Let me see if I can. Hope this is not clumsy. Can you guys see my Windows, right? Can you see my entire screen? Right? Just let me know if you can see my entire screen. You can just see, just type hi. Okay, that's good, that's good. Right, so I just want to be sure whether you can see my entire screen, right? So for you to, you can just go to Google Kali Linux, just type Kali Linux download. So there's you can go to kalilinux.org, or you go to download. You can download the virtual machine. I recommend, if you are just busy, if you are getting started, download the virtual machines, and download the. You can start with the a virtual machine. So start with the virtual machine, right? And also you can download it using the different. So you can download that, and also you can also try to see what you can Before you download that, make sure that you have VMware or VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox installed on your system. This is where you get your virtual machine installed. So the VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox, you can download that. I'll show you the VirtualBox. Just download for Windows host, depending on the. So the work of virtual machine, the virtual machine helps you to virtualize your system. We have the different kind of virtual machines. We have the VMware, we have the VirtualBox, we have the about the most of the popular one is VMware and the VirtualBox. So you can download this. Just click on this, and so if you want to, if you have a VMware installed on your system, you click on this. If you have the VirtualBox, and if you have a Microsoft Hyper-V, and you click on that. That's how to get started, right? So with that, you'll be able to you can also, but I won't recommend the live boots. So these are the different stuff that you can download on your system, right? So let's go back to the to our slide. So for you to, can you see my slide? Let me be sure. I don't know whether my slide is visible now. Okay. Okay, you can't see my entire screen, right? Can you see my entire screen? If you can see, just type yes or no. I want to be sure. If not, let me be sure that. Okay. All right. So let me share my slide back. Right. Let me just go back to this. At least you can see my slide now. So you can download the Kali Linux. So it has so many tools that can be used for you to conduct your practice and maybe at the comfort of your home, and you can install that on your laptop or on your desktop. The Metasploit is a cybersecurity tool used for penetration testing for people that want to focus on penetration testing. So you can leverage on Metasploit. And so then the Join the Reaper is a tool that is used to test the strength of your password. So you can use it to identify the weak password. And we have the nick tool to find a vulnerability on your web application. We have the Cain and Abel. So those Cain and Abel are very good cybersecurity tools. So it's also used for password recovery. The bad guys to also leverage on it, right? So now another tool that I want you to also know is what we call the Nmap. We call it Network Mapper. So it's a powerful open source tool for network discovery and security audit. So with your Nmap, you can use it to identify open ports, running services, and the OS, the operating system on your devices. So what will you do with the Nmap? You can use it to scan your network for live host. You can use it to scan to find open ports or services. You can use it to check firewall configuration. You can use it to detect vulnerable services. And there are different ways of using that. So Nmap, you can also download that. You can also download the Nmap. For you to download the Nmap, you go to I think you can just type Nmap on your browser, or maybe so you can go to nmap.org. It's free. All these tools are free. It has the Windows flavor, it has the Mac OS flavor, it has the, depending on the operating system that you have on your system, right? So you can do that. And yeah, so another thing I want us to know, some important tools that you need to also know if you are getting started. All these tools, there's another tool called Burp Suite. So Burp Suite is used for people that want to venture into maybe a web application. Is used to test to conduct an assessment on your web application. Yeah, so it is a proxy. It intercepts, modify, analyze HTTP request or response between your browser and a web browser. So what will you do with Burp Suite? You use it to test for insecure inputs, like SQL injection. What do I mean by SQL injection? Is a form of vulnerability that allows a bad guy to write an SQL statement. SQL is an acronym for Structured Query Language on your web application. So you can use it to crawl your web applications. To what do I mean by crawl? To determine the way your web application is structured. Because one thing about cybersecurity, before you can get to know, you need to understand the application. So you need to, so the crawler helps you to understand the various endpoint, the various URL on your web application. So you can also use to perform automated scan if you have the Burp Suite Professional. But there's a community version. So Burp Suite, you can also let me show you where you can get all these resources, right? Let me share my entire screen. Let me see. Just let me know if you can see my entire screen. Can you see my entire screen now, right? Complete type yes or no. Can you see my browser? Let me check on the test. Okay, I think you can see my entire screen, right? Okay. So I have a test console here. Let me just hang the console so that I'll be sure that you guys can see me. So okay, yeah. So for you to download the Burp Suite, what you need to do is just go to your browser. It's developed by Postwiga organization. So you can download the community edition. The community edition is free. And then most of us, some of us that do professional stuff, I like to use the community edition a lot, right? And so you can download it here. For people that are interested in web application security or application security, you can come here. This is like application security university, everything that you need to know. So I will show you where you can get resources for free, and also if you get stuck, also maybe at the end of this class, share a contact, right? Right. So that's that for Burp Suite. Then let's look at the so for Burp Suite, you use it to test your web application. So you need to test your web application. So another tooling that you need to be familiar with is the Wireshark. So Wireshark is very popular. It's a network protocol analyzer. You can use it to capture and inspect packets in real time. You can analyze suspicious traffic network. You can troubleshoot network performance. You can understand protocol like TCP, domain network system, HTTP, SSL, TLS, and then you can also use it to capture your. I'm gonna show you maybe just for you to download the Wireshark is free. All these tooling are free. So that's what makes cybersecurity to be more interesting, and also make it attractive for the most different bad guys, because all this tooling you can actually get for free. It depending on the version of the system they're using. If you're using Linux, you can install this. You can use a Windows installer. You can use if you're using Mac OS, maybe use an Apple MacBook. You can download this, and then so if you download this, let me just quickly show you how this guy works, right? Can you see my screen, right? You can see that as I'm talking, because I'm putting I've logged onto so many stuff, so it's capturing all the traffic on my network, right? So, and maybe at the end of the day, I'm gonna show you simple demo on how a bad guys can sniff a traffic if the traffic is not secured, especially if the traffic is using HTTP, if not using HTTPS, how they can sniff your username and password. One thing about this Wireshark, if you're on the same network with the bad guys, if your application is not secure, if your application is not using HTTPS, they can sniff your username and password. And also, they can also, if you not only the application, if you are using a protocol that are not secure, a protocol like Tenet to log onto your network, they can also sniff your credentials, right? Beyond the sniffing your credentials, you can also use to analyze network traffic and all of that. So I'm going to show you how a typical bad guys can leverage your need to sniff simple your password, for example. So let's look at the beyond this, all this tooling. You need to make sure that you get connected and stay current. What helped me in my earlier career when I kickstart my career as a cybersecurity professional, even though I'm not the kind of person that socialize a lot, but when it comes to professional socialization, I don't joke with it, right? I like to follow with people that are much ahead of me in the field, and that give me a leverage. So for you to kickstart, you need to make sure that you stay connected and stay current. Follow people that you feel that you're comfortable to follow with, people that are experts on the field. You can follow them on the LinkedIn. I could remember back then when I started my career, I was watching one of the YouTube video and I just Google at the point in time when I was a pen tester, application security engineer. I Google the if I can see the best penetration tester account, maybe a best account at a point in time in application security. I was able to stumble on a guy, and I was able to follow his work and where the guy has been spoken of, follow all his materials. Lo and behold, I sent a LinkedIn connection to the guy. He accepted my LinkedIn connections and started following up all his work. I subscribed to his YouTube page. And I think 1 year later, I just saw that the guy was looking for an intern, right? People that are ready to work for him for free. As I indicated interest, I think about the well-known guy, about 200 people indicated interest, but he picked, I think he selected about 30 something of us. And so I was just working for the guy for free. And I was able to have access to all his resources, all his technical resources for free, and also attend some of his training, and also have access to all the resources. The guy also delivered training on cybersecurity for free. I think that's make me to move faster than my contemporaries then, right? So I was able to. People were kind of surprised where did I get some of this stuff and maybe the knowledge and all of that. So follow an expert on LinkedIn, follow them on Twitter, follow them on YouTube, join a community, Discord, Reddit, and I know people, so many people are much more familiar with the other community like Instagram and all that, but the professional community that well known. Attend local meetups like B-side. B-side is very popular here in very popular in the North America and Europe. They also have they always have a local group. They meet up every month, every quarter. You can join a local community like B-side, but Isaka is all over. Is well in over 150 country, and we have more than 200,000 ISACA members all over the world. I think ISACA has the largest professional body when it comes to cybersecurity. ISC Square too, they have a larger body, but not as big as ISACA. But ISACA is everywhere, North America, Africa. ISC Square too is everywhere as well. Just look at what is common, what is popular in your area, right? Subscribe to newsletter. So many of us listen to news, and yes, I listen to news, I listen to gist and all of that. But more importantly, I also make sure that I stay connected to kind of news that may let me be aware of what is going on in the industry, crepes on security, cyberwire, and so work towards certifications. So to me, I say it's optional. Certification is not just that very important to me, but if you feel like okay, you need a certification to start with, I strongly recommend Competent Security Plus. There are quite a number of fundamental certifications that you can. So Competent Security Plus, I think, is very, very versatile. It covers every aspect of the fundamentals. And you can also ISACA to have some there. You have ISACA Cybersecurity Fundamental, and ISC Square 2 has their own fundamental certification like CC. I think ISC Square Cybersecurity Professionals, you can subscribe to that. So all this you can for exaka.org you can get to know much more. You can join they have, if you're still a student, you can join as a student member. You can find a member around your chapters, around where you're based, and you can also join ISC Square. And so all this membership has helped me a lot. And my first international gig, my first international speaking engagement, I was just doing it. I was just being very, just involved in ISACA, and I was helping the local chapter to develop content, to organize conferences. Whenever a speaker refused to show up, we look for alternate speaker. But in one of the events, we couldn't get an alternate speaker. I have to volunteer myself as a speaker, and lo and behold, people thought that I was a speaker. I didn't introduce myself. People started engaging me, and when I told people I wasn't the speaker, they told me that no, the speaker wouldn't have handled it better than this, right? So that's how I started speaking at the local level. And my first international speaking engagement was in Ghana. So this topic that I spoke in Ghana, some set of people come from the US. They were much more interested in the topic. They asked me to come down to Las Vegas to speak the same topic. And lo and behold, as I was finishing the topic in Las Vegas, they also called me in Switzerland to come and speak on that topic. But today, I have the opportunity to speak in the largest conferences and the most technical conferences like Black Hats, as a guest speaker, as a keynote speaker, and all of that, right? So you can never tell. So the person that you're connected, maybe the person that is beside you might be your next employer. So that's the essence of you joining local community, professional community, be involved. So that's how we always don't put yourself in a cocoon, be involved. So join different body. And but if you feel that you want to have the certification, you can look at the entry-level certification. Like for ISACA, they have a lot of entry-level certification that you can leverage on, right? If you are just starting. And also for ISC Square, I think they have cybersecurity CC. I think this certification is even free, as is a quick win. You don't need to pay. Get started. I think so you don't need to pay for this certification. Cybersecurity, this start your career with this is free, completely free. I think a member of my team, they will drop the links so for you on the chat, right? So So let's but I don't lay emphasis on the certification. If you want to start your career maybe as an ethical hacker, you can start with the CH, but don't do this. Don't write the certification with the mindset of passing. Do this application with the mindset of you want to know it, right? I can remember when I did my CH, I used 1 year to prepare. I over prepare for this application. And when I wrote this application, I scored 98 over 100. After 2 weeks, the EC Council reached out to me that I should come and be one of the examiners. So since up to date, I've been one of the people that set the CH exam. So don't, if you are preparing for the exam, don't come and meet me I can only guide you, go and read this material, but I won't, so that's why I don't teach CH officially, but I would rather teach other penetration testing course, right? Because I'm one of the examiners. So you can also look at the Cisco Cyber Ops Associate. I think they offer scholarship around the year, just to be. Then later on, when you are well grounded, you can look at the leadership certification like CISSP, CISSM, and for OSCP, if you are well grounded in penetration testing, these are for people that are very grounded in ethical hacking. You can do that depending on your path. So we have different paths. So if you chose the GRC path, you can look at the season at the later end. But I always recommend start with some fundamental certification if you want, but it's not compulsory. But what really matters most is the knowledge. Acquire as much as knowledge as possible, and all this knowledge you can get those knowledge for free, and also by collaborating you can get all this knowledge for free. So how do you apply your knowledge? You can look for internship or junior roles. You can do SOC analysts. You can do security support. You can do IT support. And like me, and I didn't end up being a leader like this. I do a lot of volunteering. I always, especially my local setup, I make sure that I organize conferences for free. I volunteer myself to speak for free, and I also spend my personal resources, my time, my resources to make life much easier for people. But today, I don't get involved for free like that, but people reach out to me to the extent that I reject. It's not every engagement that I am back home, right? And I also have the opportunity to travel around the world, rather by applying my knowledge and all of that. Travel around the world for free without spending my money, right? So explaining security concept to non-technical people, that might also, for some people, if you will explain concepts, you have the capacity to retain much more better, right? So how do you get started? You can check out this book, Cybersecurity for Beginners. You can also look at the book called The Art of Invisibility by Kevin Mitnick. Kevin Mitnick used to be one of the most notorious cyber criminals and in the United States. But later on, when he was reformed, eventually he was in jail and he was reformed, and he ended up being one of the reform, and he was now using the knowledge to get people to know more about how they can defend themselves. He was an ethical person before, I think he died last year, and he also have a company and a global company that he manages, and so there's also hacking the art of exploitation for people that want to go into deeper dive. And also on this channel, you don't need to go too far. We have the various courses, and in the next couple of weeks, couple of months, we'll be loading more courses on the channel. I have a course that can keep you busy for the next 1 year. It depends on especially for people that want to venture to penetration testing. I have an introduction to penetration testing. I think about 27 videos. I have courses playlist on Python for penetration tester, and that's about I think 40 videos that can Also have a lot of some of the places where conferences have spoken, and also have upload some of the videos. But it's all the courses that you get there, right? But the teaser, and then what do we do in cybersecurity? Because this program is being organized by CelsusBit. In cybersecurity, we provide comprehensive cybersecurity solutions. So you can start asking your questions, and I think my team will be responding to the questions, and also we'll also go through the questions and try to answer the questions right. So what do? We offer vulnerability assessment and penetration testing service. We help you to conduct a detailed assessment of your organization. We have red teaming operations and breaches simulation services. We can think like a bad guys. We can simulate the breaches. We do security architecture design and implementation. We do manage detection and response. We partner with different vendors. We do security education and awareness. If you want to know more about what we do, and our training is different from the normal traditional training. So we are disrupting the training industry. We decided to lay low, so we don't engage any kind of audience, but we just feel that let's come out. So we have different audiences from different parts of the world that are subscribed to our training, and it's a very hands-on training. And no matter what part you want to choose, whether the GRC, whether penetration testing, whether vulnerability assessment, whether SOC, we offer different kind of training. We do VCSO as a service, virtual CISO. So we do information security compliance management. We do security automation. You can help you automate your security operations. We do cybersecurity risk assessment. We do audit. We do network architecture. We do application security. We also do penetration testing. Different kind of testing, even on IoT, API, web, and mobile. So some of our training classes are these. So we offer, if you want to know much more, like all those tools, all those fundamentals, we have about 40 hours training session for cybersecurity fundamentals. So if you want to know more, reach out to us on our cybersecurity fundamental trainings. 40 hours. We also have 40 hours GRC cybersecurity masterclass. So for people that want to focus on the GRC part of it, and the training is it's not just we will handhold you in the training, and also assign like kind of a mentor to you, so that until when you get your foot started on the field, right? We also have a cloud security hands-on that cover AWS, Azure, the major three cloud service provider. We offer training on application security, practical network defense, penetration testing class, digital forensic, threat hunting, red teaming operation, and breach simulation, data privacy. We also offer specialized training for people that want to focus on IT audits, on maybe on network, OS, and databases. So if you want to reach out to us, we are available online 24/7. You can reach out to us on phone or on WhatsApp. These are official WhatsApp line, or you can also shoot us an email. So, but if you are in North America, you feel like seeing us one-on-one, so you can, this is where we are located, right? Or also before you come, let us know that you're coming, right? So I think at this point, I would like to go through the questions. So you can drop your questions now. Let me check my chat, right? Let me see whether I can hold on, please. Let me reshare my last screen. Okay, let me reshare. Okay, yeah, before we answer the last questions, I think I need to, can you see my entire screen again? Okay, I think I promised you guys that I'm going to show you how you bad guys can sniff a vulnerable web application, right? So let me use this as an example. This is one of my lab. So please, all these things, demonstration that I'm showing to you, don't do it on a production environment. If you're not authorized to conduct the test, please don't do that. So let's presume that this is just a teaser of what our practical class look like, right? So, and also as we are doing it, we also allow you to do it on your lab. We set up this thing on your lab and all of that. Let's presume that, okay, I want to log on to this application, right? I don't know, maybe let's log on. And before I log on, I've started my Wireshark. Now, I told you Wireshark is used to sniff a network traffic, and you can use it to. So I want to use the Wireshark to look around to see if I can see unencrypted username and password. Like this site, you can see that it's not using HTTPS. You can see it's telling me not secured. So let me try and log in. Let me go back to my Wireshark, right? Let me, because what I'm streaming, I want to check out yeah. Did I get this spelling right? Right, hold on. I want to check out what is going on that particular domain because there are a lot of stuff, traffic. I want to streamline it. I don't want any. Okay, it seems that I've stopped the traffic, right? Okay, sorry. Let me do the recapturing again. So I'm trying to stop this service and start all over again, right? Let me just quit. Okay, I think I've not really. The service is still on, right? Hold on. The service is still on. Let me continue without saving rights. Okay. Let me go back to my Wireshark. You can see that immediately so because there are a lot of activities going on my system, I need to streamline. There are different ways to filter. I just use frame contains testfire.net. So I will just come here. I want to follow the TCP protocol. I right click, I click on follow TCP stream, right? So if you look at here, you can see that the password is displayed here in clear text. So that's how a bad guy can actually sniff a traffic to know whether the traffic is being displayed in clear text, right? To know whether the so for example, if I eventually enter the right password, that's how the bad guys will just sniff and get hold of my password. So that's why it's not always good to use a protocol that is not safe. Or this same application, if I want to do a practical demo, or maybe this is an example of a vulnerable application. Maybe I want to put in let's presume that I don't know the username and password. I want to log on, and I'm very sure that this application is vulnerable to SQL injection. I will just type SQL injection payload. But for you guys to know more, but if you come to application security training, you will get to know more. So this is a simple example of SQL injection payload. So to deceive the application that I'm typing the right thing. So if I just click on login, you can see that without knowing the username and password, I've been able to log on as an admin. And if you can log on to an application as an admin, you can do a whole lot. So this is like kind of stuff that we do whenever we do cybersecurity training. We have people that are well trained, that have international certifications, have the international exposure, not just different, and also that have worked in very big industries, and also, and I'm one of the facilitators. I've had opportunity to organize workshop in one of the most technical conferences that you can think of, and I'm one of the adjunct faculty for Willis College, and also consult for a couple of organization, right? So that's that. So for us, for if you want to learn more about us, reach out to us, and I think by in the next 2 weeks we'll also be doing another deep dive session like this, maybe an hour or 2 hours max on cloud security webinars. You can watch out for that. I think the notification, if you subscribe to this channel, you will have seen that notifications. That happens at the same time the next 2 weeks, right? So let me attend to the questions, right? So you can let your question pour in, and let's I would yeah, let me see the sorry, let me stop the sharing so that you can easily see the screen, right? Okay. Okay, I can see question from Odofin Ayodeji. For someone with background in data field, is there any leverage? Is there any cybersecurity branch where it serves as a leverage? If you have a background in data, maybe you're a data architect, or you're a data engineer, you're a data analyst. We also offer courses on data privacy. There's the domain of cybersecurity called data privacy or data security. We offer courses on that, right? So you can start with that, or if you also understand some basic, if you understand how to write SQL statements, you understand basic scripting language like Python. We also recommend application security service, maybe application security training for you, right? So I don't know, the moderators, can you let me know you can drop the questions. I'm just flipping through. You can drop the questions so that I can see the questions right. So you can drop your question now. So you let me just leave the last screen so that you can let me just leave the last screen, like let me just so you can have with us on we are on LinkedIn, CelsusBit. We are also on WhatsApp. We are also on Instagram. You can get with us via our Instagram handle, and also you for us you can subscribe to our channel. The channel tells you is cybersecurity tutorials. We release a lot of and also for you to get notification about our upcoming webinars, you can also subscribe. Right. So let me see. Is there any other questions? Okay, yeah. So let me read out this question. For an absolute beginner, at what point of knowledge or how much should one know to get to the point of employability in any capacity? A knowledge checklist. So as an absolute beginner, uh, you can look out for beginner level, maybe entry level role, or you can also look for internship, so that I will recommend that I won't recommend that you wait till you get all the knowledge. You can actually learn some stuff on the job, but it's always good to get connected to where people you can leverage on the expertise of people that have been doing similar things. You can subscribe to any professional that you think that can help you, but you don't need to wait till where you you should be employable. So that's why connection is very important. So that's why if you reach out to us, we can assist you in getting, maybe if you subscribe to any of our training, definitely the training, we not just conduct the training, we handhold you to getting your first job. You can also leverage in our connections. We have connections across different countries so that you can get started depending on your location, right? So don't need to wait, but just make sure that you grab as many basic as possible and also practice as much as you can, right? Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Let me scroll through the chat. I'm not sure that. Okay. So the you can always do a playback. Maybe peradventure you missed some session. You can do all the playback. We're not gonna delay the video to be live on YouTube, and you can always do a playback, and also you can also subscribe. Get more details about what we do. So I think at this point in time, let's call it a day. So we meet again maybe the next 2 weeks, same time. I think that our next webinar will be on cloud security. Will be by July 12. That will be 10. That will be 10:30 a.m. CST, and that will be around 4:30 p.m. for people in Britain, in the UK, and 10:30 a.m. for people in using a West African time zone, right? So see you again, and stay in touch and stay connected, right? Thank you. Bye.